a little known fact is that trees take in carbon dioxide, which we breathe out. So, if there's that much carbon dioxide in the air, then the trees should be thriving very well. But what I see is everything plants and animals are suffering. So this is agenda pushing baloney here. Let's see if it says anything else stupid. Dairy farmers across Pennsylvania are learning about climate smart practices and weighing on whether these changes are sustainable for businesses. So really what they want to do, they already took away raw milk and said pretty much it's illegal when raw milk is healthy for you. They push genetically modified plants for the cows to eat. So that's why half of us can't drink milk. But if you have non-GMO crops and raw milk, then you get those good microbes. But they tell you, oh, raw milk's making you sick. We can't have raw milk. We got to pasteurize it and kill all the good nutrients in it. It's like that's the only reason why they got rid of those, because they were good for you. That's the only reason they got rid of raw milk. You can still find it here and there, but it's kind of gone under the radar, if you know what I mean, because especially the Amish, they're attacking very heavily with raw milk. Because, does it make sense, though? Here, let's pasteurize this milk, because it's making people sick. It's one thing if you had this milk and you left it out room temperature. Of course, it's going to start, getting bacteria and stuff and decomposing. But if you have this raw milk, you keep it cool, it's just as fine as regular milk. In fact, regular milk in the store makes you sicker anyway because they add stuff to it. Let's see, what else? He's using the feed additive Bovaer to reduce methane production in a cow's rumen. This is such ridiculousness. Again, we were healthy back then, and we didn't have all this extra stuff. And it's so ridiculous to me. It's like, once you see how ridiculous all this is. I think I pretty much get the point that they're trying to ruin dairy farms and take over with their climate smart agenda. So that's always a good thing. What else do we got here? There's one last thing I did want to talk about, and it's the main thing, so I guess I saved this for last. I was going to talk about first, because it's funny, because my mother and I were just talking about how the credit cards, which again are terrible, but like anytime if you ever want to get a loan, they force you to get a credit card to get your credit score up. We were just talking about how Capital One, how we didn't like it, and that Discover's better. We were talking about that on Monday. Then we get an email today saying that Capital One and Discover are merging, and I'm like, wait, what? And it said starting May 18th, but they send it today, so that means Sunday, right? Yeah, Sunday is when they. No, it's not. Wait, today's the 21st. No, I know what I'm talking about. Sunday is when they did it. So I looked it up to confirm, and two of the world's largest card companies just merged. Capital One completed its acquisition with Discover. The deal first announced in February 2024. So this has been ongoing, and I haven't heard about it because, again, I don't watch the news. The only reason I decided to cover this is it seems a little fishy, don't you think? Two of the largest ones just combined. I mean, we know they're all together in one. I guess. Am I really gonna read this though? I don't know. Brings two innovative, mission-driven companies. So you know now that, by the way it sounded, Capital One bought out Discover. So Capital One's technically the new owner of Discover. And again, I don't like credit cards at all, but something about Capital One to doing shady stuff. Again, probably then Capital One's going to buy up all the other credit card companies. We all know, like I said, they're all together, but they make you think you have choices when you really don't, because most everything's owned by the same people. But this is another way to take away your choices, though. So you know it'll just be Capital One left, probably. So it seems like most of this is just stupid financial malarkey. Nothing useful here. Pretty much the most important part is that they combined, and for why. We'll have to keep an eye on this. Because is something coming? We don't know. All right. I really don't think I had anything else, but for a closing, I'll read our Bible verse one more time. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that ye all speak one thing, and there be no dissensions among you, but be ye knit together in one mind and in one judgment. All right. I kind of feel like I had something else to say on the terms of what we saw today. Maybe I'll just sum everything up today. So, again, they're hitting us hard here in Erie, PA, Erie, PA, and surrounding area, with a lot of storms like crazy. Some areas might not be hit as hard as others, but we feel it here. The weather modification is crazy. And just the fact that these farms, the way they're destroying them, it's sad. It's like, and you have these new age farmers, so to speak. So the grandfather, back in the day, it was a simpler time. You make milk, sell it, simple. Then they start adding regulations and extra stuff. As soon as you know it, they'll be required to have the manure separators and all this stuff. It's ridiculous. And then the helicopter stuff, of course. There's helicopters always going over our house. Like, ridiculously crazy. And remember the military plane from last year? Military plane? I got to check, because I'm pretty sure I have another video from last year of a plane, two military planes, I think they were military, that were really low going by, and that was ridiculous too. I don't think it was too long after the other one. I think it was like 2 weeks after. If I find it, I'll upload it. But let me see what I can find. And again, I'm trying to think what it is with the credit card companies. I mean, you do notice that there's a lot of, or I notice at least here, I should say, notice a lot of places being bought up. For example, places that are owned by, they used to be owned by actually like a family or something, whether they're Masons or not, who knows. But then they get bought up by a bigger company, which is funny. Places that aren't even around. For example, there's a couple places that got bought up by places from Texas. So I've been noticing a lot of places in PA, especially closing down, especially like manufacturing places. So they're trying to close them down. We're losing infrastructure. Back in the day, we used to have so many local things here in Erie, PA, and they took it away, of course. And now we've got, used to have local little grocery stores. Now what do we got? Walmart, Giant Eagles. 'Cause if you're not in the club, you don't get to open up a place because you have to have the right last name and be in the Club of Masons. So again, we'll keep watching with the credit card stuff because there's going to be some connection with that coming down the road. Coincidentally, two of the largest credit card companies don't just randomly decide they want to combine with each other. Because once they combine with each other, there's going to be some changes made. Who knows what kind of changes are going to be made? Because, anybody with Discover is going to have their credit card stuff changed. Well, I didn't really want to delete that. Anyway, I don't know. I think that's all I want to say for now. So thanks for watching and God bless. Bye.